Good morning. This is Pastor Brian. Thank you for joining me today as we read a chapter a day through the book of Psalms. Today we read chapter 2. So let's jump right in. And as we do that, just a reminder that I am reading from the Common English Bible translation. Why do the nations rant? Why do the peoples rave uselessly? The earth's rulers take their stand. The leaders scheme together against the Lord and against the Anointed One. Come, they say. We will tear off their ropes and throw off their chains. The one who rules in heaven laughs. My Lord makes fun of them. But then God speaks to them angrily. Then he terrifies them with his fury. I hereby appoint my king on Zion, my holy mountain. I will announce the Lord's decision. He said to me, You are my son. Today I have become your father. Just ask me, and I will make the nations your possession. The far corners of the earth will be your property. You will smash them with an iron rod. You will shatter them like a pottery jar. So kings, wise up. Be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord reverently, trembling. Kiss his feet, or else he will become angry, and your way will be destroyed, because his anger ignites in an instant. But all who take refuge in the Lord are truly happy. That's the end of Psalm 2. So, what kind of psalm do you think this particular psalm is? Take a moment to think about that and just write it down if you like to write things down to just kind of keep track of what each psalm kind of fits those categories that we talked about last week. So this psalm seems to be a lot about opposing nations to the nation of Israel and how they try to stand up against them. But one thing that they maybe don't consider is that it's not just whoever the anointed one is that is ruling over Israel as the physical leader, but they also have to take on God. And that's a whole nother matter, and I don't think it seems like any of them consider that, at least according to this psalm. And so uh, the person writing this psalm, David or whoever it is, really thinks that these people have no idea, basically, what it's going to be like to stand up against Israel and Israel's God. But the thing that I want to point out also, I mean, this particular psalm does seem to focus heavily on what I just talked about, but this last part is really interesting. It says that uh, his anger ignites in an instant, speaking of God. But the very last part of verse 11, or verse 12, sorry. But all who take refuge in the Lord are truly happy. And so that almost seems like a moment of, if you consider coming over and believing in God instead of trying to stand up and fight against God and God's people in Israel, then you will go from wherever you were, like, uh, and by that I mean the way in which they think and they feel, and they will be truly happy. This idea of laying down their arms is how I envision this text to be talking about. Lay down your arms. Follow God. There will be no bloodshed. There will be no need for war. There will be no need. Instead, serve the Lord reverently. The verse 11 starts off by saying. And I think that that's an amazing part. And it's hard not to look at all the parts that talking about trying to stand up against him. But I think that last line, and probably it's very intentional that was the last line to end on. But all who take refuge in the Lord are truly happy. So what do you think? What do you make of all of this language that was used in today's psalm. What kind of psalm do you think it was? What did you like? What didn't you like? Write it down. Share it with a friend. Share it with us. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And God bless.